to file to run is tomorrow in next year's Texas's primary election. Now, that election is actually held in March. Voters will choose who runs for office in next November's general election. Well, Monday's deadline comes just days after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that Texas can use those newly drawn congressional districts in next year's election. Those districts were drawn to boost the chances of Republicans to win 5 additional seats in Congress. But the biggest race on that March ballot is likely the Republican primary for U.S. Senate. Incumbent John Cornyn faces the toughest primary challenge of his career. And now with that filing deadline just hours away here, the main competition on the Republican side comes down to Cornyn, Attorney General Ken Paxton, and U.S. Representative Wesley Hunt. State Capitol reporter Adam Schwager caught up with Cornyn to hear why he thinks he should continue to serve Texas until 2032.
I'm healthy, I enjoy my job, and frankly, I think I've become better at it over time.
Incumbent U.S. Senator John Cornyn first ran for statewide office in 1990 when he won a seat on the Texas State Supreme Court. 8 years later, he became the state's Attorney General. Then, in 2002, a U.S. Senator for Texas, a role he's held for almost 24 years. Across his decades in public service, Cornyn has seen a shift in politics.
Democrats have become now the party of Bernie Sanders and AOC and Mondani, and the Republican Party is President Trump's party.
So far, Cornyn's campaign challengers have tried to attack him as a Republican in name only, or rhino, and a relic of a pre-Trump party. Cornyn believes the characterization couldn't be further from the truth.
I voted for his policies 99.3% of the time. I think there's a lot of misimpression that people have, because I have been in the Senate a while, that somehow I'm not supporting President Trump, but the truth is I have and I continue to support the president and his policies.
His opponents also criticizing his backing of the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, a major piece of gun control legislation passed in the wake of the Uvalde shooting. Cornyn doesn't regret that decision.
No parent should ever have to send their child to school worried whether they're going to be safe, and no child should have to go to school wondering whether they could be safe. And what we tried to respond to was exactly that, without encroaching on the rights of law-abiding gun owners, of which I am one.
At the age of 73, Cornyn will be turning 80 when his next term is up in 2033. He says his desire to keep running is because his experience helps Texans, highlighting his efforts to get the state reimbursed for money spent on border security during the Biden administration.
The One Big Beautiful Bill got $13.5 billion for reimbursement for border security measures. And the way we wrote it means Texas will be the principal beneficiary of that. You don't learn how to do that. You don't develop those relationships overnight or as a new member of the Senate.
In April, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton announced a challenge to Cornyn's seat. Houston area Congressman Wesley Hunt jumped in the race in October, with the veteran presenting himself as a third option. If Cornyn wins and serves a full 5th term, he'd be the longest serving senator in Texas history. In Austin, I'm Adam Schwager.
By the way, you can find that complete interview with Senator Cornyn on our website right now. The primary election is scheduled for March 3rd of next year. And for some here in Central Texas, there is a much closer election, as December 13th marks runoff elections all across the area. That's next Saturday. That includes city positions in towns like Buda, Kyle, and Leander. By the way, we got a full list of those candidates up online right now. Just go to kxan.com for more information.